Okay, so we see that this phrase, plain Jane, it's a not very nice, kind of unkind name for a woman who is not considered or thought to be particularly pretty.
But the name for man would be?
Probably Average Joe.
Average Joe. Okay, the main character, Meg Murray, is a plain Jane. 她只是一个普通人而已，所以出版商们真的不觉得这本书可以卖得好。However, despite all these doubts, the publishers were wrong.
Yes, and publishers are often wrong when they reject something because it seems too different. They end up, their books do really well.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, another example. So the article says the novel proved to be a hit, especially with younger readers.
A hit 在这里指的是非常受欢迎或者是成功的事物。The novel was popular, and we see that in 1963 it won the Newbery Medal, an important award for children's books.
Yeah, an award is some kind of a prize that you get for being the best or just really, really good at something. Now, often these kinds of prizes are awarded like once every year. For example, the Nobel Prizes. For the movies, we have the Academy Awards or the Oscars. So this Newbery Medal, this is for the best children's book, and in 1963, this book won it. Now, we can also use the word award as a verb. Someone or something was awarded a prize.
Award 在文章当中呢，指的是名词、奖项、奖赏。那在1963年的时候呢，《时间的皱褶》这本书还得到了纽伯瑞奖。Newbery Medal， 美国纽伯瑞奖呢是青少年儿童阅读的指标，获得纽伯瑞奖的书籍啊，都会被列入少年必读书籍。那这边呢，我们还要补充一个 award， 还可以当作动词，代表颁发、授予某个奖项。We can also say that A Wrinkle in Time was awarded with the Newbery Medal in 1963.
That's right.
So that's a bit about the author and her difficulty getting her book published. Now let's find out a bit about the book's themes.
Okay, now the paragraph starts by saying one of the themes in the book is the threat of conformity. Now, we've mentioned this word theme a few times. A theme is an idea that could be the subject of a book or subject of a speech, but a theme also means one of the ideas that is strongly seen in a work of art, so a book, a poem, or even a painting.
Theme 是主题的意思啦。A Wrinkle in Time 里头呢，其中一个主题是 the threat of conformity.
Yeah, a threat is a person or a thing that's likely to cause damage or danger or cause some kind of problem at least. Now, it can be as obvious as someone saying, I'm going to hit you. That is a threat, a very obvious threat. We could also use it in the way that we talk about some factories being a threat to the environment, for example.
所以 threat 是危害、威胁的意思。那像刚刚 Pat 跟我讲话，他试着要威胁我，他的动作就是 threaten. He was trying to threaten me.
Yes.
What about the word conformity?
So conformity is the idea and also the practice, the activity of trying to be the same as everything else, or trying to make everybody the same. Just getting rid of anything that's different from what somebody decides is normal.
So conformity 指的是对社会规范的遵从，不能和别人不一样。The article explains this more by saying it hates things that are different. 故事里头恶势力 it 它讨厌的是不一样。
And also, the huge brain wants everyone and everything to be alike or the same.
他想要每个人都是一样的 but as we saw in the story, Meg, with all her unusual characteristics, doesn't fit with its view of the universe.
So yeah, we're talking about Meg's characteristics. Characteristics are things about you. Now, they could be physical characteristics, being tall or short, big or small, and so on, or they could be characteristics related to your personality. You're curious, you're lazy, you're bad-tempered, you're kind, you're funny, and so on. So here we're talking about Meg's personality characteristics, all those things that make Meg who she is.
Characteristic 这个名词呢是特色、特征，或者是一个人的个性特质。Pat, what's one of your characteristics?
One of my characteristics, I'm creative.
哦，有创造力的。
What about you?
Flexible?
Oh, okay.
有弹性的 I'm not sure. Okay.
Does that mean you're good at yoga?
No, it means I'm open to any changes.
Okay, great.
Okay, Meg 跟其他人不同，这违背了 it 想要的东西。The article also says she defeats it with love rather than violence, which shows another of the story's themes, the power of love.
Exactly. So to defeat someone is to beat them in a competition, an argument, a race, a fight, and so on. Basically, you win and they lose.
Defeat 是打败 but Meg doesn't physically fight it. She uses love rather than violence.
Yeah, which is kind of different if you think of a lot of movies. The final thing is always like a fight. You know, we have to blow this thing up. We have to defeat this guy. We have to stop him somehow. But Meg is not fighting it. She's using love rather than violence. And we use this phrase rather than to show that something is used, not another thing. So if a person has a choice and they choose A or not, but not B, then we say they chose A rather than B. Okay? You could say someone is given something, but not this thing. So they are given A rather than B.
Rather than 在中文里面的解释就是而不是。Meg could have tried to fight it with violence, but she chose love.
Exactly. So as we kind of mentioned, this word violence means physical actions that are taken to harm someone and often to scare them as well. You kind of hurt them, scare them, just defeat them that way. Now, your parents should tell you never to use violence to get what you want. But of course, criminals, they will use violence to take things from people.
所以 violence 这个名词是暴力、暴行。那如果我们把字尾的 ce 改掉，变成 t 的时候呢 ，violent 就是形容有暴力倾向的。So the power of love is another theme in the article, as well as the dangers of trying to make everything the same.
Yeah, two themes there. And all of that brings us to the end of the article. So now it's time to go to today's For You chat question.